Hello folks, this is Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Luxury Microfiber. I want to talk about something. For years, of course, I'm a pro detailer, so I've been cleaning wheels, I've been cleaning rims, and whenever we're using free-flowing water and chemicals around this area, what will happen sometimes, it's a little bit of a bummer and sometimes a pain in the butt, the brake rotor will get superficially rusty. It's kind of an aggravating thing because if you dialed all the wheels in and then you go to drive the vehicle, all that rust that's built up on the brake rotor will kick off and get all over the rim that you just cleaned. It's not really a huge problem, right? Because as pro detailers, we'll get into the car and kind of drive back and forth in the driveway to make sure it doesn't kind of kick up that rust on us, and then we can continue with detailing the vehicle. There's a chemical out there called Hyde Serum. It's about $17 for 16 ounces. And when the brake rotor's wet after dialing in the wheel, you would spray the brake rotor with that Hyde Serum and it stops it from getting rusty. I want to show you something really cool that I found a couple of months ago. This is about the third bottle I've gone through. It's called Dry Coat Rust Preventative. It's made by a company called Workshop Hero. You can get this stuff on Amazon. It's so easy to find. Again, it's called Dry Coat Rust Preventative. This stuff was meant to be applied to dry metals, kind of the reason why it's called Dry Coat. If you cleaned a piece of metal and it had no rust, you could spray this on a dry piece of metal and it will hold back rust for about a year, depending on how you store that piece of metal. What I found out is even when you spray it wet, or when the rotor is wet, you can still kind of get some advantages to it. It'll hold rust back for at least a couple of days. That's completely sufficient because after we dial this car in, we're most likely going to be driving it within a couple of hours anyway. It's water-based, which is really cool. Completely safe for the braking system. It's not going to harm the clear coat on this particular rim, whatever the case may be. Really cool product. So after you get done kind of detailing the wheel, right, everything's wet. I don't want to get you guys all wet. I just go in here and just lightly spray it onto the brake rotor and everything's cool. It'll hold back that rust for me. It doesn't take a lot to do it, which is kind of nice. I can do all four wheels and start working on the vehicle, and at the end of the detail, when I hand the keys back to my client, they're most likely going to be driving in a couple hours or the following day. The rust will not build up on the rotor and kick all over the wheel that I just dialed in for them. Really cool product called Dry Coat Rust Preventative. I've been using it for several months. Works amazingly well at stopping the brake rotor from getting rusty when we're trying to detail a vehicle. Stops you from having to drive the car back and forth a couple times and hit the brakes, right? So you don't get that superficial rust that builds up on the rotor. Just wanted to share that with you guys. I love you so much. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. It's rained here for a month straight in Dallas, and now all of a sudden it's cold and windy. Talk to you guys soon. Love you all.